In the swamp, chomping all day long. Saturday nights in Death Valley, that tiger strong. So we Razorbacks, crowd calling the hogs. Blue Reds battle Wildcats, bringing the dogs. Show me Mizzo, black and gold fight. Boomer Sooner running on a Saturday night. Hook 'em horns, burnt orange in the sun. 12th man standing, Aggies get it done. Saturday lights, y'all know the deal. SC pride, we keep it real from the swamp to the grove. Let that crowd roll. It's water cooler talk, we talk that score. Saturday lights, y'all know the deal. SC pride, we keep it real from the swamp to the grove. Let that crowd roll. It's water cooler talk, we talk that score.
Welcome to this presentation of Water Cooler Talk Sports.
Yeah, man. We back around the water cooler, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate y'all so much, man, for rocking with us here. As always, my name is Nick Frazier, and welcome around the water cooler, man. With me, you can't see him, but you can hear him. Tell him who you are, boss man. I guess he is not able. But ladies and gentlemen, it is Marcus Fitzpatrick, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man, for rocking with us here as always, man. Before we get into it, man, do me a favor real quick before we make this thing happen and before we get it going. Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you go subscribe to these YouTube channels. Subscribe to I got at It's SEC Season what I got Tez. I got Tight Sports and Alabama Football Megacast, man. I got Auburn Addicts I got Auburn _ Addicts, DC Wolf, man. I got Dustin over at the Up Tempo Podcast, man. Make sure you go subscribe to him as well. I got B Sharp over at Sharpshooter Sports Talk. Shout out to our guy Vandy Chris over at the Go to Broom Podcast and the Anchor That Loud Podcast on Facebook, man. I got at the Huggy Beard himself on YouTube and on Twitter. Kid Country, man. Make sure you go subscribe to him over on YouTube as well. And of course, the legend himself, Bubby and the Old Man, Auburn Sports Talk, man. Also, make sure you go subscribe to JMHO Sports Talk. What I got Coach Sean on the Block Sports with Coach Carr. And of course, I got Dylan over at the College Loop, man. Also, man, make sure you support the people that support Water Cooler Talk Sports, man. Shout out to I got DJ. They want support of Water Cooler Talk Sports. Follow him on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Hollywood_media. That's Hollywood with EY. Of course, follow him on Facebook at Hollywood Media with 2 A's, man. Make sure y'all go mess what I got, man. We appreciate y'all so much for doing that. Also, head on down to Adelines by Chef Country, where we do it right. 2371 Highway 14, Otaugaville, Alabama, man. We will be there October 17, 2026 for the Auburn versus Georgia game, man. And we want y'all to be in the place. Details about that will be coming soon, man. But also, man, if you want to go before we get there, take a day trip to Adelines, man. 2371 Highway 14, Otaugaville, Alabama, man. Go get you some good food, get you some good eating, get you some ribs, some strawberry banana pudding. Go get you some of that. I'm telling you, want to go down there and check it out, boy. Chef Country, aka Kid Country, aka the Charleston White of YouTube. better known as Edward, man. Also, man, do me a favor and go follow us on our social medias, man. Follow us at CoolersPod23 on Twitter. Follow us at the Water Cooler Talk on Instagram and TikTok. On Facebook, follow us at the Water Cooler Talk Podcast Facebook page. And of course, visit www.watercoolertalksports.com. Again, that's www.watercoolertalksports.com. We're in the process of expanding the website. To where it is going to be some exclusive stuff on there for people that want that exclusive access, man. I'm telling you, it is going to be fun. That should be done in about the next 2 months or so, man. But we'll have that ready to go. Hopefully, not hopefully, it will be finished. It will be ready to go hopefully by the beginning of July. And we'll be ready to rock and roll. And if you want to be a part of that exclusivity, we'll let you know how you can be a part of it at that time. But www.watercoolertalksports.com, man. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we thank y'all so much, man, for rocking with us here around the water cooler, man. Tonight, man, let's take a look and see who's in the comments with us. Who's in the comments with us tonight, man? We appreciate y'all so much, man. Our guy at the Huggy Beard himself is telling us no, absolutely, college coaches are being paid too much. Oh, I just realized that it didn't say paid in the question, but hey, you know, our college coaches being paid too much, man. You know, it is what it is. Shout out to our guy at the Huggy Beard himself, the king of the comments, Travell Fitzpatrick is rocking with us in the chat. What's up, Travell? J Money, Jermaine Mims in the chat rocking with us. What's up, my guy? Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling great. Mario Cannon is in the chat rocking with us as well. What's up, Mario, man? I hope you're feeling good. AD4L Auburn Dad for Life is rocking with us as well. There he is, fellas. Mike McKinney, what's up, my guy? I hope you're feeling good. Wade is in the chat. What's up, Wade? Be safe out there on the road, my guy. Wade is rocking with us as well. King Richard is rocking with us as well in the chat. As always, what's up, my guy? I hope you're feeling good. Big Sarge is rocking with us in the chat. What's up, Big Sarge? Kid Country is rocking with us in the chat, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us. AUTJ is rocking with us in the chat. What's up, TJ, man? Appreciate you, man, for rocking with us as always. I think Marcus is ready to go. Marcus, are you here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There he is, man. Marcus is back with us, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man, for rocking with us as always, man. Thank y'all for continuing to rock. Let's get into this. Let's get into tonight's conversation, man. Let's go ahead and let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Let's get this thing popping, locking, and dropping. We'll get in, get it out, man. I want to talk about two things tonight, man. I know the thumbnail shows, you know, more about coaching and pay and players is hinting at what we're gonna talk about in the first half, but I also want to talk about in the second half of the show. Is the SEC losing its dominance? Not dominance per se on the football field, but is it losing its edge when it comes to the power it wields in the halls of decision making when it comes to
college football?
Happening in college football. That was a report that just came out literally probably about 40 minutes ago from Heather Dinich at ESPN that I want to hit on and talk about, and I want to get your thoughts on it, and want to talk about it from an angle of is the SEC losing its dominance as it wields its power when it comes to college football, man. But let's talk about this thing first, man. First off, man, it's reported today that one young Kalen DeBoer, who is entering third season as head
contract, didn't it?
at Alabama, right? He got a 7-year extension that would pay him on average $12.5 million per year.
What? Say it again.
He was already making 10.5. He was making somewhere between 10 to 10.5 million per year.
Say that again. How much he making it?
It bumped him up to 12.5 million per year. And you know, people say what they want to say about Kalen DeBoer, but as a coach, right? Kalen DeBoer has played in a national championship game, has not won one. He's played in a national championship game when he was the head coach at Washington. His first year at Alabama, he won 9 games.
Improved again this year. I think.
Improved again this year. He did actually into the made it to the SEC championship game, lost the SEC championship game,
Mm-hmm,
made it to the college football playoffs, won the first game of the college football playoffs, but lost the second game in the college football playoff.
Did they lose to Indiana?
They did. They lost to Indiana, who ended up winning the national championship.
Okay.
I want to get your thoughts. I want to get your thought process on the fact of coaches being paid a lot, but from the standard of from the outside looking in, it looks as if it's almost like above average with the results that they're getting. You know, because there are a lot of Alabama fans who are still not sold on on Kalen DeBoer.
I agree 100% on that, Nick. Like,
you know,
still, and to see him get a 7-year deal today, I was like, that wasn't in my deck of cards for today.
You know, because there's a narrative going around that if DeBoer doesn't make the playoffs,
he one game away from getting fired.
That's the narrative that's going around. You know, that's the narrative that's going around. But apparently, you know, we look at it, and this man just he gonna out of that 7 years, he's definitely gonna be there for at least 3 or 4 of those years.
I agree, Nick.
So you know, Kalen DeBoer gonna be around for a while. So now,
I would say,
go ahead.
I would say, Nick, that 7 is too much, but I definitely think he deserves a contract extension.
Okay.
I you know, probably not with the Bama standards of how the fan base hold him, but I definitely think 4 years would have been nice. But 7, like you said, Nick, I don't think he finished out this 7.
Okay, well, here's the question though: do you think them giving him a 7-year contract extension was like, all right, man, with the way coaches are right now, we want to lock in a guy that we know that has shown us, at least in the past few years, he can win 9 games, and that he can keep and that he can keep Alabama in the hunt for, like, you know, relevancy when it comes to being in the college football playoff. You know, and this is gonna tie into the second half of the show. We talk about what I teased earlier about the SEC and that thing, stuff like that. Do you think that the Alabama was like, man, we got a coach right here, like, we don't want to go out and potentially have to be in a coaching situation to where now, you know, coaches are looking at other places, and Alabama's probably not as desirable as it once was. And guys are looking at it saying, I can go somewhere else and win just as much. I don't have to go there to win. And it was like,
that's exactly what they did, Nick.
Okay.
But my thing is back to what you said earlier. With the fan base, we all know that Alabama's fan base will not be patient for 7 years. If they just keep winning 9 to 10 games, getting kicked out in the first round, we all know what that fan base is gonna do to that man. He's gonna be he's gonna be in the Brian Kelly situation with LSU, the Mark Richt situation in Georgia. He will not be the coach to get you over the hump, and he will not if he can't win. I would say in these 7 years, he's gonna have to get you a national championship.
This is Kalen DeBoer's. This is a screenshot of Kalen DeBoer, right? He's 57-17 as a head coach. You know, he had the number 1 total offense at one point in time in the season, because he was considered an offensive-minded, forward-thinking coach. He's played in a national championship game. He's been the coach of the year. He's been a 6-time AP coach of the year as well. He's not a bad coach. You know what I'm saying?
No,
he's not.
That was a contract extension. 7 years at Alabama, though, he's gonna have to get you a national championship. Probably more than one.
But here's the question though. But I go back to it. But I'm sitting here asking the question of, like, when they look at this guy, and then when you look at the state of the financial state of what college football is in right now, when it comes to NIL, when it comes to the astronomical amount of what coaches are being paid. I really want to know, did Alabama really look at this and be like, yo, we are okay with potentially, you know, being a team that is continually in the college football playoff, even if we don't win it? Is that something that is that something that not just Alabama, but is that something that all schools are going to get to where they're like, coaches now have an option to go wherever they want to go, and they have the option to demand whatever amount of money that they want to demand as long as they have a name and a brand. Perfect example, Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin has not won a national championship as a head coach. He won conference titles in the American. No, excuse me, in Conference USA. Yeah, in Conference USA. But he's known and he has this moniker of being one of the forward-thinking, offensive-minded coaches that can develop quarterbacks and find quarterbacks in the portal. And by doing that, which, you know, I did a whole video about this when he left, where I thought he made the wrong decision by leaving Ole Miss. But he left, and now he can demand, you know, a $90+ million contract from LSU, and has not
with incentives,
but he has not, as a head coach, coached in a playoff game, or has not been a part of, or has not even played in the conference championship game.
I think you're onto something. I
just asked the question. I'm looking at it, and
that's a head scratcher.
Because I look at it and I ask the question: Is Alabama like, look, we know it's gonna get harder to win championships in this era of college football because of the parity.
Yeah.
But if we can find a coach that can just keep us relevant, keep our name in the mouths of people, you know, keep the brand afloat, and we are in the playoffs, you know, we in the playoffs every year or every other year, we're still relevant. That is something to where we can still pay this guy to go and be the face of the program and keep us relevant in the next decade or next era of college football. I asked that question, and I'm curious to know who it is. Like, yeah, Jermaine asked the question. He asked the question. Tell me who's better and available.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, I think
even Jermaine said some more stuff up there when he was like, now the fans can't run them because, hey, they stuck with him now. So he right, with a 7-year deal, y'all kind of stuck with him for real.
Slowed up Durkin said sometimes, he said Bama realized that sometimes you got to lock down that 5 with an overbite that can cook.
You do, for real. Because the thing about it is, hey, she all reliable. You can always go to her for a good meal. You can always go to her for a good place to lay your head. You know, this is a kid show, so I can't go any further than that. And I'll leave it right there.
But the question is, though, like when we talk about that, bro, B. Sarge, he brought something up before I got it. He said the main thing to know about DeBoer's contract is the guaranteed money along with the buyout. I think the buyout is only like $10 million, but I believe that you know, college. I think that whole contract is guaranteed, if I'm not mistaken. You know, or something of that nature. It may not be. I may be reading it wrong. Or to that degree. I think if the buyout is $10 million, and he's making $12.5 million, that means the contract is not guaranteed. Okay, so that does make sense. The contract is not guaranteed. So the full value of the contract is not guaranteed, but at least there's a way for them to get out of it. But even with it being 7 years, I still think Alabama looks at that and be like, man, you know what?
Yeah,
if this coach can continually keep us in the conversation of college football playoff relevancy and keep us at a 9-10 win
question for
per
you
year, I think we can rock with that and be good.
How long can you go that way?
Oh, I think you keep going that way. I think you keep going that way for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I think you keep going. Like I had like here's the thing. I look at it. I look at it from the fact, like, I have questions about Kirby Smart, right? Like, Kirby Smart has not won a playoff game since he's won a national championship.
Yeah.
And the cachet that he's built up, you know, the brand that he's built up for himself as one of the greatest as one of the better college football head football coaches in college football, you know, when you have that, when people see that and when people get that in their head, even though we can sit here and tell you facts that, yeah, he has not won a college football playoff game since he last won the national championship. People still look at him as one of the better college coaches in college football, knowing that there is a different level of different level of standards that they are judging certain coaches by.
I agree.
So at that point in time, the question becomes, all right, if this guy is continually keeping us in the conversation and keeping us at the point to where we are nationally recognized to where it brings in money, or we are still in the conversation of winning of winning games, and people still know the brand of Georgia, Alabama, whatever it is, we are okay with keeping him around and paying him that money because that's what the value is, even if we're not winning. I have a problem with that because I think because of the amount of money that is being invested in college football, I think a lot of people look at it and be like, hey, me personally, like if I'm spending that much money, I want some type of return on it, and I want the highest return on it, which is winning championships. Not winning it every year, but we are playing for it every year. Not just making it, but playing for it. Or one game away from it every year, in my opinion.
All right, question to you though, Nick. All right, when was the last time Alabama won that championship? Jay, go ahead and tell me real quick.
2020.
2020, correct?
Yeah.
All right. In this 7-year contract, do you think the prestigious Alabama can sit around 7 years and not get a national championship?
Hey, apparently they just told you they cool with it. They just told you they cool with it. Either it's one or two things. One or two things with that contract. Alabama just told you that they are cool with either being in the conversation and making the playoffs and being a SEC, being one of the top teams in the SEC every year, because they are always going to be considered preseason favorites to win the SEC every year because of the brand of Alabama and who they recruit and things, stuff of that nature. So they are telling you, yeah, we're cool. We're cool with that. So either they are cool with that, or they are looking at him saying, you got to at least win one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Nick.
So it's one. No. I don't know. I don't know which way. I don't know which way it falls though. I don't know if it falls to them saying you need to get one championship, or you just need to keep us relevant in this time period. Like if you keep us relevant in this time period, then we can justify you paying this. We can justify paying you this money. But then once we get close to the end of the contract, they can have a out clause to be like, okay, well, we gave you 5 years. You kept us relevant, and then you just waiting for the next hot name to come around to come in and be the guy that could potentially take you to the next level. That could be it. Or they could be looking at it saying, we think you can get us one national championship within 7 years.
I think that they looking at it like you can get me one national championship, because he has it, like you said, he has a national championship appearance. He did take Saban's offense and team and get you 9 wins. Then he got his team and got you another extra win and a playoff win. So he's moving forward. But all I would say is, if he can't get you a national championship, these fans will get restless at Alabama, and he won't make it through that contract.
That is true, man. Jermaine said DeBoer isn't a bad coach. I agree. I don't think DeBoer is a bad coach.
No, not at all.
Like I looked at it, and I was like, when I hear people talk about him, I was like, man, like I think Alabama fans got to understand, like they had the outlier in coaches in the history of college football. You know what I'm saying? And things, stuff of that nature. But he also said, Grubb needs to go, and he didn't get an extension like the other coaches yet, because it was a lot of coaches that got extensions. Like DeBoer wasn't the only one. I think Nate Oates got an extension as well as there as well. So it's just it's a lot is crazy, man. It's crazy to think about it, man. Slugged Up said, man, $12 million for being relevant is wild. But that's how I read into it. Okay, so when I'm
that's wild, for real.
No, I agree with this. I agree with Slugged Up.
No, but to your point from earlier though, Nick, I think LSU did that.
Oh, easily. Okay, so here's the question. But the thing is, man. Like to this point, like at what point? Like, okay, let's think about this. Think about this, right? Let's look at this. Let's look at this in a financial, mathematical term. 12 to 12.5 million per year to a coach, right? 12 to 12.5 million per year to a coach. Okay. Now, if Alabama continues to sell out, right? They continue to win 9 games or 10 games. They play in the SEC championship game. If the SEC championship game continues as it is, they continue to they make the college football playoff, right?
Yep.
Let's say they do win the national championship, right? If he does that one time, what do you think the revenue that will be generated off of just saying Alabama was in the national championship game and won it?
So to that point,
12 to 12.5 million would look very, very small.
I'm gonna say
at that point in
a
time.
national championship appearance will probably get him 5. It'll get him. I think it'll get him 5 to 6. I think the last year they go ahead and part ways if he don't. It depends on when the national championship appearance comes.
I hear what you're saying, but I look at it from the fact of like, even if they don't win the national championship and they just make the college football playoff and they play in the first round, or they get a bye and they play in the second round, and let's just say they lose, that is still revenue that they are getting from just being in there. You know what I'm saying? So at that particular point in time, 12 to 12.5 million almost looks like a write-off to Alabama based on what they would get from TV, from streaming, because I'm pretty sure it's gonna go to streaming. I'm just looking at it from the mathematical part to where we could be looking at this 12.5 million as a drop in the bucket for what it could potentially mean for them if he keeps them relevant and they keep winning games.
Hey, I got a good question for you, Nick.
Hold that thought. Hold that question. Mario Cannon said, "Yes, coaches are paid too much, and I have a twist to it. Not only are they paid too much, but there appears to be no cap on their salaries, especially for successful coaches." I'm gonna put up a graphic real quick in a minute, Mario, that I want us to look at. Jermaine said, man, DeBoer's contract would look like a steal after next offseason when others get their extensions. I have to agree with you there.
Mm-hmm.
I have to agree with you there. Slug Up said, will it look like a steal when he wins 8 games? If he wins 8 games one season and then the other 6 seasons, or if he wins 8 games 2 seasons and the other 5 seasons he goes to the national, he goes to the college football playoff and wins and goes and has a run, I think it still looks like a steal. I think it will still look like a steal for Alabama.
He win 8 games. If he only win 8 games this year, people gonna be sick. Alabama fans gonna be sick.
But that's the thing. But here's the thing. You gotta understand though. This would be the best time for him to do it.
It would be.
Like if
his career would be. I agree.
If there was a time for Alabama, Kalen DeBoer, for them to have what quote unquote a bad season, which is less than 9 wins, this would be the year for them to do it.
I agree.
This would be the year for them to do it. Reason being because that they said 7-year extension, right? Out of that 7, we already said we think 4 of those years he's gonna be there. So if anything, and I'm not saying he's thinking like this, but if anything, this is the time, this 26 season would be the time for him to have an excuse to say, well, we're breaking in a new quarterback. We're breaking in a whole new front 7 on the defensive side of the ball. And I just got a 7-year extension. So guess what? Y'all not taking me. Y'all not going nowhere. Nick. This would be the perfect season to do it. And things in that situation. I want to put up a graphic real quick. Because when I saw this, I wanted to take a look at the top 15 highest paid coaches in college football compared to the top 15 highest paid coaches in the NFL. And I wanted to take a look at this and compare it to what we're talking about when we talk about college coaches being paid too much. Let me take this off the screen real quick and let me put up this graphic here. So this graphic is as of earlier this year. So the Kalen DeBoer number is not up to date on this graphic, but we're gonna take a look at it. We're gonna take a look at it. So here it is right here. This is the graphic right here. All right. Highest paid coaches in 2026. Top 15 highest paid coaches in 2026 from college football to the NFL. right? When you look at this right now, Kirk Cinetti, he got an extension after winning the national championship. I think it was $100 million extension that Kirk Cinetti got, and it averaged about 13.2 million per year. Kirby Smart right behind him at 13. Lane Kiffin, 13 million. Ryan Day, 12.5. Dabo Sweeney, 11.5. Lincoln Riley, 11.5. Mike Elko, 11. Eli Drinkwitz, 10.7. Marcus Freeman is on there, but the thing about it is this is speculative for when it comes to Marcus Freeman because of the fact that Notre Dame is a private school. They don't have to display what a coach makes, but from people that are around it, what's being reported is that it's around 10.5 million that he's getting per year. Kalen DeBoer before this one was 10.5, 10.25, 10.5. Dan Lanning, 10.4. Bill Belichick at North Carolina, 10 million. Josh Heupel, 9 million. Deion Sanders, just under 9 million. And then Mario Cristobal was at 8.5, which I'm pretty sure I did not see anything on there about a contract extension for him, but he just made the college football playoffs. So I'm pretty sure that is going to change as well. You look over here in the NFL, Andy Reid, $20 million a year. John Harbaugh, $20 million a year.
Great debate.
But you're looking at two coaches that have longevity in the NFL and are consistently in the talks of being, in the Super Bowl conversation, in John Harbaugh and Andy Reid. Sean Payton won a Super Bowl with the New Orleans Saints, but now has Bo Nix and Jarrett Stidham in Denver, and Denver seems to be a team that is going to continually be in the AFC conversation for AFC titles and playoffs. They were this year. Jim Harbaugh, who's now at the LA Chargers. Sean McVay, who won a Super Bowl, I think about two or three years ago. Nick Sirianni at the Philadelphia Eagles, who won the Super Bowl before this past season. Mike Vrabel, who came into New England and just played in the Super Bowl his first year as head coach for the Patriots. Kevin Stefanski, which is surprising to me. Kevin Stefanski, which is surprising to me, who's the head coach at Cleveland and now is the head coach at the for the Atlanta Falcons.
He's very liked in the NFL circle, bro.
He is liked,
and I do not understand why.
He is liked, very liked. Stefanski is very, very liked, and
very highly of him. Even Cleveland, even after he messed up Cleveland organization, people up here speak very highly of him.
It's wild.
I don't understand why.
It's kind of wild, ain't it? It's a little wild.
Yep, it's very.
You got Ben Johnson, Kevin O'Connell, Aaron Glenn. Head coach of the New York Jets. He's going to be around 12 million this year with the Jets. You look at Liam Cohen at the Jacksonville Jaguars, a guy that's an offensive guy as well. D'Amico Ryans, Houston, Texas. Matt LaFleur, the Green Bay Packers, and then your guy Sean McDermott with the Buffalo Bills will be around 8 million.
Not no more.
Year. That's right. He ain't there. My bad. I forgot. Like I said, this is not up to date. This is what it was. This is what it would have been.
Yeah.
Man, you look at this, man, and I tell you, man, like when you look at this graphic, right, and you look at what coaches are making in college football compared to what the top coaches are making in the NFL, right? When you look at this, like it is very, very like alarming. It is very, very alarming to see like how close some of the top guys in college football are to making the kind of money that NFL head coaches are making. Like Kirk Cinetti is what, 7 million away from the top two guys, but when you actually look at it, and see it, bro, he's really only like 2 to 3 million away from, being like Kirk Cinetti on this list would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He would be like the 8th or 9th highest paid coach in the league. If that's crazy, but he's won a national championship. Kirby Smart would be the 8th or 9th, 10th highest paid coach in the NFL if this was an NFL schedule. But look at Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin has not won a national championship, has not played for a conference championship. But he on this list, Lane Kiffin would be in that 8 to 11 range of highest paid coaches in the NFL. Like when you like, bro,
That's mind blowing.
this is like when we ask the question, are college football coaches being paid too much? And then when you parallel that to the conversation of NIL and paying college players too much, I just sit back and just be like, bro, when you see numbers like this that are near each other and that are comparable to each other, man, it makes you think about it and be like, man, I don't care what people say about players, man. Let them players make whatever they need to and want to, and whatever their market value is, in my opinion. Your thoughts on that, Marcus?
Man, my thoughts is I went into the wrong profession. Cause like, man, let me sharpen up my skills and get back out there. Cause man, it is money to be made in coaching.
It is wild, man,
bro. Especially college coaching, bro. Oh my God,
it's wild, man. It's wild when you think about it, bro.
Looking at them numbers side by side, bro. I see why Nick Saban came back.
Yeah, man, I agree. And Jermaine said, hey, it was coaches making more than Nick Saban his last year. That's true. And Nick Saban is considered to be one of the greatest coaches of all time, bro. Like it's wild to think about it, man. Big Sar said, man, college coaches have to go on the road for recruiting and build relationship with high school coaches. When you look at it now, I see what you're saying, Big Sarge, but there's a reason why Auburn hired a guy like Jarius McIntyre.
Well, that's
Jarius McIntyre's job. His job is to build the relationship with high school coaches for Auburn and to be that liaison between Auburn University and the high school coaches. So to your point, there is a lot of staff around these college programs now to where the coach doesn't have, he still has to do a considerable amount because he's still the CEO of the team. But so much is being invested into the program to where it's almost like he doesn't have to touch every single part. Somebody's hired to do that part for it. But go ahead, Marcus.
Nah, I was just gonna say what you just said. I was gonna say I would think the reason why you can pay them like that is because people invest in the programs. Like you have alumni that invest outside of when in the NFL you just have the ownership in the stockholders that that invest in the NFL teams. Outside of in college, you got alumni, you got boosters, you got all type of entities that invest in the programs for him to be able to get contracts like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only way I can see you paying, man. But still, Nick, you trying to go back and get in this coaching gig, man? God,
no, I'm good.
Them numbers crazy.
I'm good, man. I'll be all right. Because
like,
coaching,
like,
bro,
they give me 2 seasons,
bro. It'll take forever. It'll take forever to get to that point, bro. Like for real. If you really thinking about it, it'll take forever to get to that point of being getting to be a head coach. If you know the right people, and you network very well, you have a really good chance of that happening. But man, if you don't,
I'm finna go call you free
bro.
right now. And we finna get in somewhere, and we finna fuck it up. I mean, mess it up.
Wow, bro. Wow. Mike McKinney said, "I'll get fired in 2 seasons and wouldn't care." That's it. You are correct, bro. You could literally get fired in 2 seasons and have a buyout to where you wouldn't have to work for if you manage it correctly, not ever again. Because think about it, like you got to look at it too, like the amount of cachet that you have as a former coach. Like Mike Tomlin just got hired with NBC to be an in-studio analyst because he's a Super Bowl winning coach and he coached in the NFL. I like you coach if you coach 5 seasons, when you get done coaching, if they fire you because of lackluster performance or because it's not living up to the degree, man, you can go to ESPN and get on College Game Day, and you could be an expert because you was on the sidelines coaching as the head coach or offensive coordinator. Like it wouldn't be a problem, man. Mike McKinney said, so we're not going to talk about Dabo. Oh, Dabo win this conversation too. Like, I mean,
but the thing about Dabo is Dabo got done. He won one, so you know what I'm saying.
Dabo won a couple of them too. He don't won national championship.
Dabo won like 2 of them, so you can't really put Dabo in the same light as Lane Kiffin in the DeBoer, man, because he actually got some hard work.
Yeah,
it's been a minute, but he got some hard work. I'm
just like there was a report pertaining to Dabo. There was a report that came around from the AD or sources closest to the AD saying that this could potentially be Dabo's last year at Clemson, even though he came out publicly and said that he supports Dabo Sweeney. But apparently,
last pass should have been his last year, nigga. We being honest.
But apparently, they're saying that if this season goes bad for Clemson, that you could see a replacement. Well, not replacement. You could see Dabo be like, I need to take a step back and just run his course here, and I can go and find a new endeavor or something of that nature. It was just something that was just kind of floated out there. But when you hear the word sources close to, you got to take that with a grain of salt sometimes. So it is what it is. But yeah, man, we talk about that, man. We talk about these coaches being paid, man, and being astronomically paid. And you saw the chart there, man. I'm gonna put it back up before we move on to the next one, bro. But when you look at this chart, and this is based on the 2025 season, that's what I should have said, because I did say this was based on the beginning of the year, January of 2026. So that's the reason why you see Sean McDermott down there at the bottom with the Buffalo Bills. He's not the head coach there no more. But when you look at this, you look at the top three coaches. Excuse me. Let's look at this. Even you look at the top four coaches, from Kirk Cignetti all the way down to Dabo Sweeney. To Ryan Day. If you put them in the NFL, those guys would be somewhere between 8th and 11th or 8th and 12th. The 8th through 12th highest paid coaches in the NFL if that were to happen, bro. That's wild. That's crazy.
Question.
And out of those four, 3 of them have won national championships, and one of them just has a very big brand. In my opinion, that's how I look at it.
Facts. I agree. Hey, Nick, question. Who do you feel like I would say first question, who do you feel like makes it out of their contract? Lane Kiffin or DeBoer? And second, who do you think?
Oh, DeBoer, easily.
Oh, okay. Well, that answers my second question then. I would say, do you think who wins the national championship first? But
yeah, I think LSU is on Lane Kiffin. Like, I don't know what. Like, we just basically said that. I think that if for Kalen DeBoer to have, if Kalen DeBoer were to have a bad season, this 26 season would be the year to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Because out of that 7, like we said, we think he'll be there for at least 3 to 4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Lane Kiffin got to win this year. Lane Kiffin got to make it to the.
Is that much pressure?
Yes, he got to make it to the SEC championship game. He got to make it to the college football playoff or something. Like, you got to think about this. Brian Kelly made it to the SEC championship game his first season at LSU.
Facts.
He made it to the SEC championship game his first season at LSU. If Lane Kiffin does not do that, what do you think they'll be saying about Lane Kiffin in Baton Rouge?
Hey, they already saying it, but Kiffin saying that he gonna need a year. He said, "Calm down. Thing wouldn't change overnight, man. You got to give him time."
I don't know, bro. I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah, I agree. What has Kiffin done DeBoer can't? It's a great question. That's a great question, man.
That's
a great question. Agree. Mike McKinney said DeBoer has done more.
Yeah.
Can't deny that. Can't deny that. That's a great conversation, man. But I want to move on to this. Heather Dinich. About 6:30 Central Time. Put out an article on ESPN, and the title of the article was Greg Sankey says the SEC stance on the 16-team CFP field has not changed or hasn't changed. So, as people know, as everybody knows, the college football playoff is basically managed by the Big Ten and the SEC. So Tony Petitti, the commissioner of the Big Ten, Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the SEC. Last spring had a memorandum of understanding signed by all four of the power conferences, and those conferences basically gave unlimited power to 2 conferences to decide who and how the college football playoff would be formulated and work moving forward. All right. 12-team playoff. This past season was the second season of the 12-team playoff. And now there has been this discussion about expanding it to a either 16-team playoff or a 24-team playoff. Now, if you listen to reports that are coming out, there was a lot of people who were for the 16-team playoff or on the side of the SEC when it came to the 16-team playoff. Then the Big Ten was a proponent of having a 24-team playoff, which seems to be that only the Big Ten was a proponent of. Then you start to hear things about, well, some coaches, some universities in the SEC want to get away from the NCAA, or some want to expand further than 16 to 24, and some want to come out and want to expand maybe even further and things, stuff like that. Auburn's former head coach actually went on an interview and basically said he felt as if Auburn's former head coach and Hugh Freeze said that he felt that as if it should be a 2014 playoff. Is what he said. Now, I say all of that to say this. I asked the question at the beginning. Has the SEC lost its dominance when it comes to the power that it wields in college football because of the fact that they're not winning national championships? The Big Ten has won 3 national championships back to back. Michigan, Ohio State, Indiana seem poised to potentially do it again and make it 4 straight. We don't know yet. We'll see what happens. But in this article, it is said that the SEC, this is Greg Sankey speaking, saying that the SEC still has the stance of having a 16-team playoff field, basically having the 5 champions, and then the next 11 teams that are ranked would be the 16-team playoff field, is what it is. But the article also states that the ACC, the Big 12, and Notre Dame are now leaning towards siding with the Big 10 for a 24-team playoff. Even though Notre Dame would prefer to potentially keep it at 16, they are more than willing to side more with the ACC, Big 12, and Big 10 and go to a 24-team playoff. It also went as far to say that even some of the teams in the SEC have publicly and privately expressed interest in a 24-team model, with the commissioner of the conference, Greg Sankey, coming out saying that the SEC is holding on to a 16-team playoff. Marcus?
Yes, sir.
You know what this sounds like to me?
I hate to say it, nigga. It sounds like you were right.
Thank you very much.
I hate to say it. Nigga,
that's right. What it sounds like to me. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like Tony Petitti and the Big Ten are wielding more power in this situation.
You said it. You said in the beginning of the season.
Because of the fact that they are they are winning national championships.
I hate it, Nick. Because you said
answer this.
in the beginning of the season, Nick.
I want people to answer this.
Let me give you a flower, Nick.
No. You ain't gotta get. You don't have to give me my flowers. You don't have to give me my flowers. That's not what we do. That's not what we do in this content creation, journalistic ability lane that we try to be in. That's not what we do.
You said if the Big Ten would have won another championship in the beginning of the season, that they were going to wield the power of what the college playoff structure looked like going forward. And you said those words verbatim.
Here's the thing. The memorandum of understanding that was signed in 2020, I want to say it was 2025, the spring of 2025, between ACC, Big 12, SEC, and the Big 10. When I heard about it, I said, okay. I said, in order for the SEC to have to be the dominant part in this, they have to continue to win national championships. That's what I was alluding to when it happened. And the conference that is constantly winning the national stage and winning the national championship conversation is the one that's going to have the perceived notion or the perceived strength behind how it's going to be dictated. Yes, it says the SEC and the Big Ten both have the power to come together and determine how this is going to look. But right now, as we all know, in life, in corporate America, in anything,
if you get everybody on your side, it's over with. And
how do you get people on your side?
Only reason why they on their side because they missed the playoff.
You win. That's how you do it. You win. And right now, the Big Ten is winning. And because they are winning, they have the perception of being able to know and do what's best. And in most cases, it may not be the best thing. It may not be. And things of that, and it may not be the best thing. In some cases, it could be the best thing. But because on a national scale, the Big Ten is winning, you're starting to see, as it's stated in this article, the ACC, the Big 12, and even Notre Dame are interested in moving to a 2014 model. Even with Notre Dame saying, and I'm gonna read what it say. This is from the article right here. Sankey spoke to a small group of reporters following the conclusion of 2-day meetings at the Ritz-Carlton in Las Colinas. Declined to state his preference for a playoff model, instead referring to his December comment when he said a 16-team format is the right next step. He also referenced last year's SEC spring meetings, during which the conference publicly supported a model that included 5 conference champions and the next 11 best teams. Here's a quote from Sankey. Last year, we came out of Destin with very clear messaging, he said. Haven't changed at this point. Now, after that, others have. Multiple sources have said the ACC, Big 12, and Notre Dame are now leaning towards a 24-team field, though Notre Dame would still prefer a 16-team model. In order for the format to change after this season, though, Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti and Sankey have to agree on it because they have the bulk of the control over it. And then at the end of the article, they asked the question. The question was asked to Greg Sankey. It said, when asked if Sankey and Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti can reach a consensus by the December 1st deadline of this year on the model of the playoffs, Sankey said, "We'll see." Bro, I'm telling you right now, bro, it ain't gonna go the way it's gonna go. And I'm telling you, bro, if the Big Ten wins another national championship, bro, it's gonna be a 2014 playoff.
It's a wrap. But no, they is so lame. They get a guaranteed spot regardless, bro. So shut up. Just go with whatever playoff structure it is. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro.
No. Notre Dame is not getting a guaranteed playoffs because they didn't get a guaranteed playoff spot this year.
That's the reason why. That's the reason why they going to the leaning towards the Big West night at the Big Ten now, because they got kicked out this year. We all know why Marcus Freeman keep crying.
Marcus Freeman ain't crying. I think it's more the fact that Notre Dame plays in football. Notre Dame plays more of an ACC schedule.
In basketball too,
yeah. So I think they just gonna automatically go with whatever the ACC or side with the ACC, even if they feel like a 16-team model is the way it go. Because at the beginning of this, everybody was like 16 team is the next step. And the momentum was behind the SEC because at that time, the national narrative was the SEC is still the dominant conference, even though the Big Ten had won 2 national championships at that time. This was before Indiana. But after this last national championship, and especially with Indiana being an undefeated national champion, and people asking a question of which conference is better, now people are saying, well, the Big Ten got to be the better conference. And now the ACC and the Big 12, and now Notre Dame is sitting here like, man, we gotta align with
the best conference.
With the best conference over here. We don't want to upset the boat. You know what I'm saying? If the SEC had won 2 of these last 3, I'm pretty sure right now
It wouldn't
right
even
now.
be. It wouldn't even be.
This wouldn't even be a conversation.
It wouldn't even be an argument.
We will be talking about how the 16 team playoff would be instituted this upcoming season, or not this upcoming season, but the 27th season of how it will be instituted.
Nick, if we would have won the last 2 national championships outside of this year, SEC would have full control of the playoff structure.
Of course.
It wouldn't even be anybody else. It'd be Greg saying, just hey, do what you do, bro.
I look at it, man, and I just be like, man, sometimes the perceived dominance of a conference and things stuff of that nature, like when that happens, when they win, when they're winning, and when they're winning consistently and they winning back to back as a conference, at that particular point in time, people look at them as like, all right, man, they must know what's best. You know, I wish I knew what the term of that was. If there's a psychologist that's watching this, either in the comments now, they're watching us on the rewatch, tell us what that is. Is it a groupthink thing? Is that what it could be considered, groupthink? Or is there something that's to it, because that where people see the biggest, strongest, or what they perceive to be the biggest and strongest, and then they just automatically fall in line behind them and take them as the leader? I'm just curious to know what that's called. Please, if somebody's in here that's a psychologist or somebody on the rewatch watching it, let us know what you think. But man, I look at it and I ask, and I'm just looking at it and I'm saying, bro, if the Big Ten does win another national championship this year, bro, or it looks like it's on track for that, man, oh man, bro, it's gonna be some conversations that need to be had about that.
I just hope that don't happen. First of all, because I'm in Big Ten country, and secondly, I'm just tired of them. I'm tired of them.
Man, I just like good football, bro.
I do too.
I just like good football. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy great football, and watch the best teams play. That's what I enjoy.
Man, trash talk is much sweeter when the SEC is dominant. Sorry. Trash talk is way much sweeter when the SEC dominate.
Of course it is, because that's the conference that you get behind and cheer for. It ain't good. It ain't good when you're not from a position of strength, or you're not from a position of dominance, and you now, like, the conference that you used to be dominant over, and now that conference then came up and low key kind of surpassed you a little bit, and now they kind of looking down on you after you done had a dominant run, you know, within the conference. You know, it ain't fun. You know, it's not gonna be fun. But how do you fix that? Go win national championship. An SEC team needs to go win a national championship. Is how I feel. So that's what's up. Let's take a look at the comments, see who's rocking with us in the comments, man. Shout out to Bulldog, Mississippi. What's up, man? He said evening, Mississippi State. What's up, my guy? How you feeling? Trevelyan coming to, man, Hugh Freeze said that, and he still would miss the play. Boy, that is funny. Shout out to I got Tavian Upshaw. What's up, Tavian?
What's up, Tavian?
He said, I'm faking an injury if I got to play 9 SEC games and 3 non-conference games. Go to the SEC championship and then play 6 more teams in the playoff for a championship. Come on, cuz. I hear what you said, man. Mario Gannon said, I'm personally against the 16 or 24. I mean, I know we want to see it, but how much football can we realistically ask these young men to play? I'm going to be honest with you. I think the perfect number is 14. That's where I would be at. I think the perfect number is a 14-team playoff. The top two seeds get a bye, and from there, after those top 2 seeds get a bye, you move forward within the playoff. That's how I do. I think you get rid of the committee. You don't necessarily get rid of the committee, but you rank them, and then basically after ranking them, the committee would be the team. The committee would be the team that will rank them, and then from there you would have the top 2 seeds that will get the bye, and then 3 through 14 would play each other in the first round, and then after that, you just move on with the playoff. That's how I think it should be. That's just me. I believe that's how it should go.
Ain't mad at that.
Yeah, that's what I would do, man. Tavian said it definitely a money grab. It's definitely a money grab, not about the students if we move to a 16 and 2014 playoff bracket. Yeah. And at that point in time, too, even if you move to a 16, you got to consider getting rid of conference championship games. You have to. You have to consider you have to really get rid of conference championship games. And basically, I don't know if it will make the season more competitive, because now at that particular point in time, you would have to determine a champion of the conference within the season, or determine what teams will play in the college football playoff in the season. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed to that. You know, just basically having like, okay, these teams played each other, so the top 4 teams in the conference would be the teams that will represent the SEC in the playoff picture, or the top 5, or whatever, however you do it. But it will still be based on the record of the SEC and things, stuff like that, because you're still playing SEC games and things, stuff, and records, of course. But it would probably make it to where you would probably get rid of some of those, like this season. If that were to happen this season, Auburn probably wouldn't play Sanford or Southern Miss. Like you could possibly, you know, add another SEC team in there and play 10 conference games, and just have one cupcake style game, just so you can have like more of a parity of who would be the representatives for the conference in the playoffs. Maybe so. I don't know. That's something that you have to think through. 2014 playoffs, straight seeding, or the mysterious committee selectors meetings like they have now. I like the straight seeding format. I like the straight seeding format. I like the straight seeding format if you do it the way I just mentioned it, because I'm thinking it through my head. If you play 10 conference games, as a conference, you have one cupcake basically. You play 10 conference games. Wait, no. You can play 2 cupcake games, play 10 conference games. Man. And then out of those 10 conference games, you can determine a winner of the conference from that. And then the top teams that have the best conference records, let's say the top 4 or 5 teams that have the best conference records would be the ones that represent the conference in the playoff. And then the best conference record of all is the SEC champion.
Okay, so no more SEC championships.
No more SEC championship game. Would be the best way to do it. If you expand it to a 16 to 2014 playoff.
You know why they won't do that, Nick?
Why not?
I love that idea, but the SEC championship is a big money draw.
Oh yeah, of course it is right now. I mean, they still got contracts involved with it. Don't get it twisted. But you can get out of contracts. Contracts can be waived and gotten out of. That could definitely happen. Here we go, man. We got Bama 604 life.
What's up,
my guy? Welcome around the water cooler. He said, how is it a coach who abandoned the run game 2 years in a row gets a salary raise? Make it make sense. Here's the thing.
Told you.
Here's the thing. We said this. We said that Alabama fans are not in favor of this in this situation. They're not in favor of this. You know,
is.
But the thing about it is,
you almost passed out this year,
bro. We talked about it. Like the contract with DeBoer is probably more of a relevancy thing. Like Jermaine asked the question earlier, who you gonna get better? You know, if he can win one national championship, if DeBoer can win one national championship in 4 seasons, because we think out of that 7-year period, he's probably guaranteed at least 4 seasons. If he can win one national championship in 4 seasons, will Alabama fans be okay? And does that keep the program relevant enough? In my opinion,
man,
I don't know.
So I would say this, Nick. All right, we said this season he can afford to have a bad. So say he have a bad season this year, he would have to come back the following year and possibly get them to a national championship, but very close.
Or just make the college football playoff. That's it. That's what it is. He would just have to make the college football playoff and just keep them and just keep them relevant. That's what you have to do. Just keep them relevant.
Man.
Travell, I think Travell thinking the way I'm thinking, because I think if you did a 16-team playoff and you went to 10 conference games and then 2 cupcake games, it would probably make the season more exciting and more relevant.
More meaningful. Yeah, it would.
It'll make it more meaningful, in my opinion, if you did it that way.
I like it. It's just you already know you already brought down the numbers of the SEC championship on one episode, and the money draw from that is hard to replace.
Sweet Stuff said play 9 conference games and 2 non-conference Power 4 games based on a lottery of random drawing yearly. Okay, so basically you're saying keep the 9 conference games, but instead of playing 10 conference games and then 1 cupcake, you play 9 conference games, 2 non-conference Power 4 games, and then 1 cupcake game. So basically, so Auburn would keep the 9 games that they got this year. They would play Baylor. Baylor would be one of their non-power conference games, and then let's just say they would play Michigan or Michigan State as the other non-power conference, and then they'll probably keep Southern Miss or Sanford. That's not a bad idea. That's not bad. I can rock with that, because if you do it at 10, you could potentially have to where you have a couple of teams that have the same conference record. Because if it's an even number, I'm thinking this through in my head in live time, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't have the time to write this down. So,
yeah, I was just saying, I was like, well, he doing the numbers crazy, like.
Because if you have 10 games, let's just say 2 teams play 10 conference games, they could lose. They could have the same record, but it's more likely to not have the same conference record if you have an odd number of games. So it would either have to be 9 conference games or 11. So, okay, I'm thinking about that. Give me time. I think it through. Go ahead, Marcus. What you about to say?
Nah, I was agreeing with Mario.
I say cap it at 12 permanently forever and stop increasing the number. But 14 would definitely work. Yeah, 14. I like 14. I like 14 because 14 is basically what the NFL does. 14 is basically what the NFL does. You have wild card weekend. Wild card weekend, basically the top seed in both the AFC and the NFC get a bye doing wild card weekend, and then the other teams play. That's just how I look at it. And you go from there. And if you do it that way, you'll have the first weekend of games, and then you'll have the second week of games, which will technically be what is the divisional rounds in the NFL, and then the third week would be the conference games, which would be the semi rounds in college football, and then you have those out of those 4 teams, those 2 would win, and then the next week would be technically national championship game or the Super Bowl, or 2 weeks from that would be the national championship game or the Super Bowl. So that's what I would look at and doing it from that perspective. So it is what it is.
I ain't mad at that.
It is what it is. Like that. P-Pass said DeBoer stealing from the athletes.
Nah, they gave him that money.
Mario
and I hope they regret it.
Mario said, flip side, how long will Bama fans deal with winning 9 games a year? I say not long.
Who said that? Nick? I'm telling you.
Yeah, you did say that. But the thing is, if they win 9 games, put it like this. If they win 9 games and they expand the playoffs to 16 teams or even 24 teams, if you win 9 games, you in the playoffs.
You getting in. Yeah, that's weak.
So to my point, he's still relevant. He's still one of the top 24 teams in the country. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, is it still, does that $12 million a year justify?
All right. Well, question then, Nick. Will playoff spot start securing coaches' jobs if it's that easy to get in?
Yes, it will. Tez made a great point, bro. Probably like 6 months ago, bro.
So
Tez made a great point.
Get paid off just making the playoffs at this point,
bro. Tez made a great point. College basketball coaches get paid like that all the time for just making the tournament. or making a Sweet 16 or making the Elite 8.
They also don't get paid as much as college football coaches do.
Well, of course they don't, but like when you look at it in relative terms to what they do and how they do it, they get paid very handsomely for what they do, in terms of it, because college basketball doesn't bring in the revenue that they do, but when you look at it comparatively, what coaches are getting paid and how they get contract extensions for making a Sweet 16 or making the Elite 8, oh man, they're making the Final Four. Like, yes, they will, yes. And to Tez's point, bro, I think you're gonna see a lot of coaches get a lot more cachet because they made the college football playoff instead of winning national championships. Like it's probably going to be. It's probably
he had
going
20
to
college football playoff.
Exactly.
Players.
That's exactly how it's gonna be. Like you know how college basketball teams raise banners for making the Final Four or making the Elite 8. They'll probably I'm not gonna say they're gonna do this. I'm not gonna say they're gonna do this for college football teams, but they definitely like on a college head coach's resume, it's gonna be like he was a 7-time college football playoff appearance. He made the college football playoff 7 times or something like that. Because you got to understand when you go through a tournament like that, it's going to be harder to win games, to win national championships like that, because you got to play more games to get to it. In the BCS era, you play in your conference game, and then next thing you know, you don't like the top 2 teams get picked to play in the national championship. They don't play for like a month, or something like that. So now it's going to be harder it's going to be harder for coaches and teams to win national championships year in and year out, and then stuff like that, which is why you're not going to see what Alabama did, or you probably won't see back-to-back national champions like that for a while. You may see it every now and then just because teams are so, like, a team may be that good or that well coached, but it's possible every year you're gonna see a different national champion every year, just because of how grueling it's gonna be to go through a playoff type structure. So yeah, I mean, like a coach be like, yeah, we made the college. He made the college football playoff 7-8 times on his. Yeah, that's gonna be something that they're gonna be able to be like, all right, cool, and that's gonna be valuable to a school, in my opinion. But at what point in time for a coach like Kirby Smart, who before the institution of the 12-team playoff was consistently
dominating,
exactly, to where fans are gonna be like, man, we haven't won one in I don't know how long, and then, bro, we need to see what the next best thing is out there. And the thing about it is, Kirby Smart is only like 50 years old. This man got like another 10-12 years of coaching left, probably 20 if he wanted to.
But to your point, then he hasn't missed the college football playoffs either.
But he hasn't won a game since he's won a national championship either.
He's still getting appearances though.
You right. But DeBoer has won a college football playoff game. Has won more college football playoff games in the past 2 seasons than Kirby Smart has. Brent Venables has Brent Venables has not. Steve Sarkisian has not. Josh Heupel has not.
Dang, that list is very short then.
Mike Elko has not. Like, we gotta be real about this. Like, if we looking at it from that perspective, if I'm not mistaken, Kalen DeBoer is the only current SEC head coach that has won a playoff game in the past 2 seasons. Let me make sure I'm correct. Tennessee lost to Ohio State. Texas lost. No, excuse me. Steve Sarkisian, because Texas beat Arizona State. So Steve Sarkisian and Kalen DeBoer are the only 2 SEC head coaches. You're right. My bad. You are correct, Mike McKinney. My bad. Pete Golden and Ole Miss. So Pete Golden, Ole Miss, Steve Sarkisian, and Kalen DeBoer are the only 3 head coaches that have won playoff games in the past 3 seasons since Kirby Smart has won a national championship. When you put it like that, how does that sound?
Man, all I would say is he's still making an appearance. If coaches is only getting graded by appearances, Nick, he's still there and he has legacy. So I would say I would go with the coach who been there knocking on the door. Like as long as the drop off is him not making the playoffs, period, I don't see what the problem is. Like eventually you gonna have to think that Kirby gonna get over the hump eventually.
You hope so.
If he's still making an appearance, like the drop off for Kirby is when he stopped making the playoff completely.
You hope so. But to your point, the same thing, the same way that Mario asked the question of at what point in time will Alabama fans be like, you know what? How many times are we gonna keep winning 9 games? How much is it gonna be enough for Alabama fans? At what point in time for Georgia fans will it be all right? You keep making the playoffs, but you ain't won a game.
Exactly. It's gonna be the same for all of the coaches that you're gonna have to eventually have a coach that's gonna get over the hump.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna keep paying coaches year after year just for to hit a wall and to stick at the same success that you've been having. You're gonna eventually try to change it up. Unless you just a team that doesn't have a legacy like an Ole Miss or something. Like if Pete Golden made the playoffs every year, he'll be there for 10, 20 years. But if Pete Golden
made the playoffs every year, Pete Golden would be in line to get a bigger job.
True.
But to your point, why would he leave Ole Miss if he can continually make the playoffs there, and then maybe one season you get to the national championship game and win it? Because they was one game away from playing the national championship this past season.
True.
So yes, Pete Golden was one of the coaches. I think it was Sarkisian. Sarkisian beat Arizona State in 2024. Pete Golden won 2 games this past year, and Kalen DeBoer won 1 game this year as well. It beat Oklahoma. So those 3 coaches are 3 coaches. When you put it to the point where only 3 coaches have won playoff games since Kirby Smart won his last playoff game, which was the national championship game in 2022. When you put it like that, it's interesting. It's the way you put it. It's been a great discussion, man, Marcus, man. We're going to get up out of this thing, man. Marcus, we got to say to people before we get up out of here, man.
Hey, man, come kick it with me tomorrow on the SEC Heat Check, man. Tomorrow is going down, man. Alabama versus Auburn, man. A-Day. Come kick it with me and my boy Tight, man. Until then, man, hey, y'all be safe and be blessed.
Do us a favor, man. Go subscribe to these YouTube channels, man. Subscribe to I got Ted's at his SEC season. I got Tight Sports and Alabama Football Megacast, man. I got DC Wolf over at Auburn_Addicts TV. Dustin over at the Uptempo Podcast, man. I got B Sharp over at Sharpshooter Sports Talk. Danny Chris over at the Go to Broom Podcast. And of course, I got the Huggy Beard himself on YouTube and on Twitter. I got Kid Country on YouTube as well. And of course, the legend himself, Bubba and the Old Man, Auburn Sports Talk, man. Also, go subscribe to JMHO Sports Talk with I got Coach Sean on the Block Sports with Coach Carl. And of course, I got Dylan over at the College Loop, man. Also, make sure you go subscribe and shout out, I got DJ, man. Follow him on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Hollywood_media. That's Hollywood and EY. And of course, follow him on Facebook at Hollywood Media with 2 A's. Man, we appreciate y'all so much, man, for rocking with us here around the water cooler and mess with the people that rock with us here around the water cooler. That's my quarterback, man. There he is, man. As always. Also, go visit our guy, Kid Country, aka Chef Country, aka the Charleston White of YouTube. Adelines by Chef Country, man. 2371 Highway 14, Otagoville, Alabama, where we do it right. And we will be there October 17th, 2026 for the Auburn versus Georgia football game. Details about that will be coming to you soon. So, man, we want y'all to be there and come rock with us there, man. We plan on having a great time there as well. But if you want to make a trip up there before we get there on the 17th of October, man, 2371 Highway 14, Otagoville, Alabama, man. I got Edward Adelines by Chef Country, man. Also, man, do us a favor, man. Go subscribe to our social medias, man. Follow us on Twitter at CoolersPod23. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Water Cooler Talk, and on Facebook, Water Cooler Talk Podcast Facebook page. Also, visit www.watercoolertalksports.com. That's watercoolertalksports.com. type it in, man. And like I said, we are in the process of expanding the website and adding some more exclusive things to the website for those that want to be a part of the exclusivity. That should be ready to go hopefully by the 4th of July weekend. We plan on having that ready to go. But hey, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a great time. We want y'all to come be a part of it. Visit www.watercoolertalksports.com, man. We appreciate y'all so much for that, man. We're gonna get out of here, man. As always, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man, for rocking with us here around the water cooler. As always, shout out to everybody that had the opportunity to come around and rock with us, man. We appreciate y'all so much, man. I just had to get this one. I had to get this one up here, man. He said, word has it, DeBoer don't have saving old players in his team no more, and that will make a difference in the team. How is that a reason to win? I just say talent wasted. Oh, man. Look, Alabama fans.
All I would say is, boy, DeBoer win, because if you don't, that fan base will eat you alive.
Bro, I'm telling you.
They already got their season salt ready. They ready to eat you alive.
I'm telling you, bro. DeBoer.
You better win, boy.
I hope you win, my guy. I hope you win. I hope you win, bro. Alabama fans are on your neck, boy. They on your neck, bro.
First year of the contract.
Bro, man, we're gonna get out of here, man. We appreciate y'all so much for rocking with us. Please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come kick it with us here around the water cooler, man. As always, man, you all have a good one. Better yet, y'all have a great one. Y'all be blessed, man. Make sure y'all give the man upstairs above his, because he deserves all the praise and all of the glory. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. We'll be back around the water cooler, man, and we'll be talking some more college football and some more Auburn football and some more SEC football. So, ladies and gentlemen, man, we appreciate y'all so much, man, as always. In the words of Martin, the words he wrote on the wall before he walked out of the department for the last time on the Martin show, he wrote the 2 words. Those 2 words were one love. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all be blessed. Y'all be easy. We'll see you when we see you. Peace.
This has been a presentation of Water Cooler Talk Sports.